Well, hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to my episode 9, I believe it's 9, on my hardcore series on the Minecraft 1.17 Caves and Cliffs. And as you can see today, we are standing in front of what looks like maybe some sort of a build site, and that's because it is. Today we're going to build an iron farm disguised as a steel mill, so stay tuned. Okay, so here we are in front of the build site. Now I've done just a little bit of planning because I'm going to pop up on the screen a photo I found on Google. It's a photo of an old steel mill, and that's what kind of inspired this build. So that's what we're going to be modeling this after. So it won't be exactly the same, but it'll be kind of similar. So I kind of did a footprint, and then I just made a floor in here because we wouldn't have a wood floor for sure in a steel mill. These are polished blackstone blocks, I believe, and those are going to be the bases for the pillars. And looks like the sun's going down. And we're going to build this up. It's going to have big smokestacks, and there's going to be an iron farm in here. Now, the thing about iron, we've been finding lots of iron in caves, so it isn't a problem as far as that goes. But if we're going to keep building things out of iron and really getting through a couple of levels of trading with iron with the villagers, we're going to need a whole bunch of iron. All right, and really iron is just one of those things you really just can't have too much of. So this will be fun. There's going to be some neat stuff involved with this. Okay, so getting right to it. Here we go. We're going to build this up with a series of, so these are polished blackstone, I believe. Let's see, what are those? Not blackstone, deep slate. Polished deep slate blocks, and then we're going to be doing some deep slate bricks, some cracked bricks, and some more polished blocks there. We're also going to be using the tiles. Okay, so we've got, as you saw in the picture, there's got like a couple of open, almost like a garage door, and then this is your center entrance. So starting with the center entrance, we're going to pillar up here, and we're going to alternate these blocks. All right, and then we have to, there's certain levels where we have to put additional polished blackstone blocks. So we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 gets a polished. And 8 gets polished. I think 13 is supposed to be polished. All right, 17. I think that's where we are now. At that point, now we got to put a. Well, we're gonna need our water. We're gonna put a temporary block up here, and then we're gonna come over. Temporary block. All right, well, we take that one out. All right, we'll leave these up because we're going to have to do another pillar right next to it. Okay, so I think for now, to get down, we're just going to use water. Okay, so that should be 17 blocks. Let's see how easy it is to count that. Well, pretty tricky, so let's just do it this way. 17 it is. Okay, so we got that right. Okay, so this pillar is going to be exactly the same, except we'll vary the bricks and the cracked bricks a little bit differently, so it looks a little more natural. All right, so we have the first little stretch of the face up. Now, it has occurred to me that I actually wanted to build the iron farm part first, because part of the build here is going to require some iron, and we do have a couple stacks of iron, but I don't think we may not have enough, so we might as well have this thing start producing iron for us while we're building the rest of it. So we're going to go ahead and do that part now. So let me get the blocks that we need to make the iron farm. Now, this iron farm, pretty easy and straightforward. It's just really a platform and a few villagers, and they're relatively easy to get in there, so don't fret. I'm going to use these smooth stone blocks. The reason I'm using those is because, you know, they do look pretty decent, but it's also very easy for you to follow along and see what's being built. Okay, so we need those. We're going to need a chest and a hopper. Okay, so we got the material. So we got some smooth stone blocks. We've got we have a chest and a hopper so we can collect. We're gonna need a few other things, but this should get us started, and some ladders to get up and down. But this should be enough to get us started here. Okay, so you want this thing to be at least 8 blocks off the ground. So so this is block 1. I marked the center of it. I'm just gonna put some. We're gonna need a ladder to get up and down anyway, so we might as well use actual blocks. So there's 8. So I'm going to just be cautious and do it on the 9th block. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and we need to make an 11 by 11 platform. So if this is your center block, we need to go out 5 blocks in each direction. This is where the chest will go there. Well, we can go ahead and put that in now. So chest goes there. Hopper going into the chest, so now we know where this is. Okay, so we're going to fill all this in, so it's a big 11 by 11 square. Alright, now we'll be able to temporarily get up and down nice and easy. Okay. Okay, so now we have our 11 by 11 platform. Now we want to go around the perimeter and put a little border wall up here. Okay, so now we got the little perimeter wall. So now the inside dimensions of this should be a 9 by 9. Okay, so I grabbed some more smooth stone. I've got some more smelting up, so we'll have enough. Okay, so now we're going to want to put a second level up on this. And this is going to be facing towards the front entrance. So we're going to leave a little gap here for now. Okay, and then on top of this, we want to do a layer of glass. And the reason for that is because glass is not spawnable, and we don't want and we're going to have to build this back up a little bit more too. We want to be able to still get in here. There you go, that'll be even with the glass. And I want to be careful not to do that because I don't have silk touch yet, so whenever I have to break a piece of glass, I lose it. Alright, we will complete the front here at some point, but right now I want to leave it open because we have to build this is the platform for the golems to spawn in, and we got a little more work to do in here, but I want to get the platform going for the villagers. Alright, so the platform for the villagers, we're going to do a 5 by 5. It could be a little bit smaller than that, but you know, I like to leave them a little bit of room to wander around outside of their bed, so we need to go out 6 blocks because this can be a dividing wall, and then we need an outside wall. So in order to make it an inside dimension of 5 by 5, it really needs to be by 7 by 7, but this wall right here will be the 7th block on this side. Okay, so if we count this as one of these blocks now, then it's a 7 by 7, and now we need to go ahead and put a wall up on the outside. Okay, and that leaves us inside dimensions here of 5 by 5. My explaining was probably way too much of a long-winded explanation for that, so I apologize if that were the case. So now we can go ahead and we got to put another layer up here. All right, and then we will continue the glass around the perimeter here as well. Okie dokie. So we're going to leave ourselves. Eventually, we're going to put. This is going to be 2 layers of glass all the way across, but for now, this is going to double as a stair step for me to get up there, but it's turning night, so we definitely don't want the critters to come out. Now, I have to be careful down there because we've been casting a shadow with the additional platform that I didn't light up yet, so there could be some unfriendlies waiting for us down there. Okay, so now we're going to have to place 5 beds in here, and then we have the little part of the chamber here that takes care of the golems when they spawn. Okay. Nobody under here. Okay, great. Now also, we're going to need to build a temporary staircase to get a couple villagers in there. We only need to get 2 in there. We need 5 villagers, but once we get 2 in there, we can just breed them up, and it'll be all good. So I'm going to light this up a little bit down here, so nothing can spawn down here. Now, once we get the factory in, there's going to be a big old cauldron pouring some. It's going to be lava, but the idea will be that it'll be molten steel into some forms and stuff like that, and the lava itself will light this thing up on the inside for the most part. But okay, so this is your big platform. So really, you've got an 11 by 11 with 9 by 9 inside dimensions here. This is a 7 by 7. It shares this wall here. So if I count it from here going this way, this would be the 7th block. So you have a 7 by 7 outer dimension, 5 by 5 inner dimension. And then we're building the walls up 3 high, the top layer being a glass layer. Okay, so now we got to get a bunch of dirt so I can build a temporary staircase, getting some villagers in there. And then we also need some slabs because in the villager portion of the platform, wherever there isn't beds, because golems cannot spawn on beds, but wherever there isn't beds, we want them to be slabs. So the villagers will be able to walk around. That'll do the trick. But the golems won't be able to spawn there. All right, how much dirt do I have? Yeah, I got quite a bit of dirt, so hopefully we'll have enough dirt to build this little temporary staircase. I'm going to make it 3 wide. That's really wider than it needs to be, but We don't want any clumsy villager. What if a clumsy villager tries to climb up into this thing? You know, we don't want them falling to their deaths. You know, villagers are really precious commodities. I suppose they're easy to replace, as long as you don't go down to 0 villagers. Okay, now, about halfway through here, this might be a little farther than halfway down. I'm going to make a kind of a platform, because we're going to use beds to lure these guys up here. And I want to have a little bit of space to put the beds on, then we'll continue our walkway down. Okie doke. Yeah, so this will be a nice, easy place. We just need to get 2 up here, like I said. Now, if it's super easy to get more up here, then we can do that, but 2 is all we really need. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I had placed out a few beds here, just so that there'd be some extra beds, and then the villagers are eating fine now, so they're well fed. Now they got some extra beds, so they produce some extra villagers. So what's going to happen is I'm going to leave them a trail of beds. So when evening comes and they go to sleep, I'm going to break a couple of these beds. Those should be the closest beds, so they should just automatically wander over there. And really, you know, I'm just going to leave them a trail of beds. And we're going to lead them over there, and it's going to culminate with them voluntarily hopping right into the platform. Alright, so we'll continue to do some other stuff until it becomes nighttime. Let's work on the kill chamber for the golems, because as soon as those villagers reach the number 5 and they've slept in their beds, golems will automatically start spawning in there, and we want to have it ready for them, because it's a lot easier to get all that stuff in there before there are golems. Okay, let's run up here and let's complete the platform for the iron golems to spawn in. Alright, so on top of this we need to crouch down, place 2 walls, then we need to do a row of signs all the way around this thing. Okay, now we come up here and we got to place a layer of signs on top of these signs. So if you crouch down, place it right on the edge, easy peasy. I don't know, can you jump on top of signs? Yeah, you can jump over signs. Okay, so I didn't know if I needed to leave myself a way out, but it'll be easier this way for the to place the lava anyway. So from the outside, we'll do this last sign. If you do it in the middle, the signs are straight. Now, if the sign ends up and they're crooked, it doesn't really matter. It'll be just fine. We'll go up one higher, and then on top of that, we place our lava block. That'll hold that lava in place. And so that's the kill element for the golems. Pretty simple. Nothing. The hardest thing to get is the bucket of lava if you're really early game. Now, I do have a day 1 iron farm you can build. It doesn't require any iron. Basically, if you've got a couple of wooden tools, you can build this iron farm. No lava, no anything. You just use a suffocation method, and then as the golems die, you collect up some iron, and then you make this kill element, and it makes it a lot more efficient. However, you can build that iron farm on day 1. If you just look in my tutorials section, and you'll see that. All right, now we just need to put water in each corner. Okay, so now this is complete. The only thing left to do is to complete this wall, but I'm gonna, well, actually, you know, yeah, I do need to leave this here so I can get out of here. Okay, so while we're up here, we can go ahead and put the slabs down. Now, this right here is going to be a row of 5 beds. That's going to leave these 15 blocks. These would be spawnable blocks. If we left these as blocks, golems would just spawn in here with the villagers, and that's not what we want. Okay, so now when we place the beds down, the beds are not a spawnable spot. These bottom half, these slabs, which are the bottom half of a block, are not spawnable. None of the glass is spawnable, so they will all spawn in there on the water. Okay, so we're just going to have to, we may have to fight the villagers just a little bit to keep them from going into there once we get them in here. But like I said, we only need to get 2. It'll be easy because when they come in here, it'll be because it's night, and they'll be tracking to the beds that are going to be here. So they're going to come in here and lay down and go to sleep. That'll give us time to jump out, complete this glass wall here, and then there'll be nowhere for them to go. All right, sun is starting to go down, so let's go ahead and get ready for this. I made a couple more beds, so I'm going to place them up here on the platform. These guys are starting to head towards their beds. Okay, so I placed those beds, and these guys are hopping in their beds. Now, if I start to break their beds, one guy's missing. Oh, there's always one guy who's a straggler coming out of there. So I'll take the guys. Well, this guy doesn't have a job, so if I break his bed, and I break this bed, okay, these guys should wander over here. Oh, there's a bed. I don't know what he's doing. There's a bed. There is a bed in my camper. Maybe he was tracking towards that one. All right, we got zombies starting to come out now. All right, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to sleep. We've got them tracking to this bed. We'll get them the rest of the way there on the next night. All right, let's go looking for creepers. Okay, so we got a couple of the villagers to migrate to these beds. So now, when they go to sleep tonight, we'll just keep on pushing them. Eventually, we'll have them inside the chamber. All right, so let's find some more stuff to do while we're waiting for tonight. Okay, so we'll start working some more on the face of our the iron or the steel mill here. Okay, so now we got to go up here. Now these only go up 13, but they get the polished deep slate at the same levels as these columns did. Okay, there we go. And I don't think I brought any stairs with me. Okay, so we have to collect some of this with some stairs. But we can do that after the fact here. Let's go ahead and place some water. All right, same thing on this one. All right, now this one here just goes up to 11, and it doesn't need any polished deep slate until we get to the very top one. Okay, same on this one over here. Okay, now in between these two down here, we're going to put another one of those guys, the polished, and another one here. Now I need to start bringing in some walls and some stairs. Got to clear out my inventory a little bit, so I'm going to plop some of these beds in up here. Alright, so we just need one more bed in here, which we'll collect up as we're moving those guys. But that has also freed up some inventory. Okay, so these little verticals here are going to get completely filled up with the deep slate tile walls. It's a nice little contrast, color contrast, and texture contrast. In here, let's get some temporary blocks so we can pillar up. Boy, I wish I had some scaffolding right about now. That would be sweet. Okie doke, yeah, that looks pretty nice. Okay, so now we got to start putting some upside down stairs in. Alright, and this is our main center entrance here. So we want the clearance to be 3 high, and we'll do our upside down stairs right here. And then they kind of, you can see they kind of marry up with the polished blackstone, or polished deep slate full blocks we did there. Okay, and we do our walls here, and then we're going to put an iron door right in the middle. And when we put the iron door, these walls will join right up to the edge of the door, so that'll be perfect. We're kind of prohibited from doing the center pillar all the way up until we get that done. Okay, so it's starting to get close to night, so I want to be paying attention here. Get a little bit more done here. Let's see, so these have to be right side upstairs that go here. Upside down, and that's kind of, this is like the open garage door you saw in the picture. Okay, so let's go. These guys are starting to go to sleep. Okay, so I have 2 guys here, so if I bust this bed and I bust this bed, he should run to that bed. We'll see how far we can get him. Alright. Now they should go to that bed. We might be able to get them all the way up the stairs. Let's throw down a few torches in the meantime here. Try to keep the critters out. Alright, if I break these 2, they might go all the way up the rest of the way. Let's hope. Yep. Okay. they're in bed. So I was able to place the last bed there. We'll close this off. Alright, now we'll place our bed and make it day so that things stop spawning. Okay, golems, you go take care of those guys. That is fantastic. Okay, so now these guys are in here. Now I just gotta feed them up and they will breed. Okay, so your requirements for breeding is an available bed, 2 villagers obviously, an extra bed, and at least 3 blocks of space before you have a ceiling. We have open air, so that's no problem whatsoever. Okay, I see a creeper, so we're gonna go take care of him. Oops. Yeah, I'm pretty good at taking creepers out, except when I have knockback. Then sometimes I underestimate my ability to charge up on them. A little shy on dirt, that's alright, we'll fix that up. Alright, any other creepers? Any other creepers? Going once, going twice. I do not see any other creepers. Okay, so we'll be able to trade the rotten flesh for emeralds. Okay, so now we need a bunch of food for these guys. Because I think this is the first time I've run this where all the carrots were completely ready to harvest. Okay, I see we got one getting hung up there. That's not a big deal. All right, shut the water off. When we did the first harvesting of these, some of the carrots were not completely matured, and we got just about 9 stacks. So I can tell you that the total is going to be over 9 stacks. Since they were all matured. That is definitely worth it. I do have to go and replant them, but I can tell you, it is so easy to run in there, replant them, versus having to run through there a couple of times and harvest them. It's definitely worth building this for carrots. For the wheat one, it's a little more ambiguous, but for the carrot one, definitely worth it to build that thing. And that's in a previous episode on my channel here. All right, so we're going to start feeding these guys. And if they're well fed, they really need about 12 each, but it's hard to police who picks up how many, so I just give them plenty of carrots. They'll be well fed. They have an extra bed. They have at least 3 blocks from floor until a ceiling. They're trading back and forth already. Yeah, they're going to start breeding. As soon as there's 5 villagers in here and they've slept, golems will start to spawn. Now, depending on where we are on construction here, we might see some golems spawn on some of the, because like that would be a spawnable space right there. So a golem could spawn there. When I'm done, I just saw some hearts there real quick. When I'm done, between roof slabs and buttons and stuff, none of this will be spawnable, so it won't be a problem. Oh, there! I just heard a little one. Okay, so I heard him. I don't see him. Oh, there he is. Okay, so let's make sure that they have plenty of food. We'll just keep coming up here and feeding them all carrots. I can take this down now. We don't need this because we have the ladder over there. I can get these blocks back, and then these will be out of our way. All right, so we got our villagers going up there. As you can see, I'll take those temporary blocks down when I get up there to do the roof. As you can see, it wasn't it wasn't too painful to getting up there. I know that fighting villagers to get them to do what you want, where you want, can be a pain, but that really wasn't too bad. You just you wait till they're trying to go to sleep, and you have some trail of beds, and you break them, and they go on their own. So you don't have to necessarily fight them so much. All right, so same thing we're gonna do on this side. Okay. Okay, as you can see, we have another chisel block there, so that's an indicator that we're going to have some stairs here. These are going to be right side upstairs, and we're just going to do a quick row of them. We're going to fill this space in with the tiled wall, and then we get some depth and a color contrast going there. All right, and then on this level, even with that chisel block, again, right side upstairs, and we're going to fill this in with walls, except we're going to leave an opening here, too tall, open in the middle. When we get this thing producing iron, we're going to put the iron windows in here. I forget what they're, iron fence, I guess they are, or yeah, whatever they are. You know what I'm talking about, iron bars. So this will be 2 iron bars here as a window. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and put some blocks here to fill in for the roof, but we're going to wait till we're doing the roof to do that part. It'll be easier to do it at that point. Okay, same deal. And here we have room for 1 iron bar there. Okay, 2 iron bar tall window there. All right, a little short on walls. We'll go get some more of those. But there's going to be a 2 iron bar one here. This looks a little funky until we get the roof in, and then it'll be just fine. It will make sense. All right, now we're going to do the same thing on this left column as we did on that column. Okay, so we've got that kind of starting to take shape over here in these little corners. There's going to be wall coming down a little bit on an angle so that the roof can follow that, and it's going to be the roof is going to have a couple of tiers. Now we have this little inset where it steps back a little bit, and then we build that little extension that you saw in the photo of the steel mill. Okay, so we're going to do a little deep slate wall here. All right, and then we left room for 2 of the iron bar windows, and then we need some upside down stairs right up here to frame this in. All right, we're going to leave that little chunk until we start doing the roof to deal with it, and then this bad boy, it just goes up, I believe we're just going to go all the way up with the walls over here. And that's what that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the roof outline started, and then we'll come back in and have a look at where we are at that point. I am going to check in on my villagers periodically, though, and keep feeding them, make sure that they breed up to 5. So I shall be right back when we get to the next stage. Alright, so as you can see, we have 5 villagers, and these guys are producing iron golems. Now, they have been for a little while, and yeah, it's working perfectly. Once in a while, like when I was building this up, and before I had the buttons where the roof goes, one did spawn over there, so I had to take him out. But, so if another one spawns down here, I'll probably just leave them until the very end, because if I have spawnable space where they can spawn, they will. When this thing is all done, there will be no spawnable space except for in here. So, but let's go take a peek and see how much iron we've produced so far, just in the amount of time it took me to get the roof started. So half stack, not too bad. So this thing produces, I've built this farm before, and it does just about 3 stacks per hour of iron. Now, it doesn't run at night because there's no zombie, but honestly, in a single player world, in my other worlds, I find that I just end up turning all the iron into iron blocks because I have so much of it, it's hard to even store. So if we want to in a future episode, I can add a zombie and then it'll run at nighttime too, but really not a problem. So I have the roof going. So the face of the building is ready. I've added the iron doors in, and here, let's take a quick sleep. Okay, so we got our temporary blocks here just so I can get up there. So that's kind of an ugly thing that's going to go away. But this is the face of it. I'm not going to do it in this episode, but in another episode, I might do some automated iron doors here, iron bar doors. As you can see, I took some of the iron and made some of these iron bar windows here. I have an iron gate design, and it's in my if you look in my Survival Guide Let's Play series, I did in a castle wall, I did a castle gate where you hit a button and the gate gets pushed up, and then you hit a button again and it comes back down. So we might do that in here, but that's not really what these are really. If you look at the photo I'm working off of, these were really like overhead garage doors. So I don't know if we'll close them off or not. We may not even need to. We'll deal with that later, though. But at any rate, so the face of this thing is done. You can see where the roof line is. Now I'm going to go ahead and just carry the roof back to the back wall. And so I'm just going to go ahead and start bringing that roof line back. And let me climb up here real quick and show you what I've done, because these are slabs. So every other row is a spawnable block. So what we have to do... And actually, I should put a I should put a button on top of this, otherwise a golem could spawn here until this is done. Do I have some more? I don't have any more fence, though. That's the problem. Okay, so yeah, so every other row we're going to have to put buttons. Otherwise, the golems will spawn up here. And obviously, we don't want them spawning up here. We want them spawning over there. Okay, so you see, here you go. This is a place where some golems could have spawned because I didn't get the buttons on here. All right, so every other row, and the buttons have to go all the way back. So, and we're just going to carry this all the way to the back of the building, and we'll pop back in as soon as I get that part done. Okay, so I've got the roof back, and I just went ahead and I did the rest of the walls in a similar style as I did to the front. I figured there was no reason to make you suffer through that. If we take a quick look around, it's starting to look pretty good, right? So, the walls are up. This is a little funky because I have a bunch of blast furnaces there, and then this is going to be a blacksmith workstation. Looks good from the inside. I can hide that with blocks if it bugs me, but it's looking pretty good inside as well. So the iron farm's been functioning great, and it was down for a little bit because while I was doing the roof, there were golems spawning on the roof until I got all the buttons up there. And but still, we got over 3 stacks so far. In the amount of time it took me to finish the roof and put those walls up. All right, so we have a wall of blast furnaces here. This is going to be I'm not done with it yet, but this is going to be a blacksmith's workstation. All right, so now I have a couple of more really fun elements we're going to put in here. So I want to put a big cauldron in here and make it look like we are pouring, you know, molten steel into forms. So this is kind of fun. I just want to make sure that I don't eat up too much room, but let's see, I want to leave it open here so when you walk in the door, so probably right around here somewhere. All right, so I'm going to do like a bar here. Let's see, this thing is going to be 5 wide, so I'm going to go 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And, you know, I'm supposing that this looks kind of like steel. And then I'm going to take and start coming down here. And then this is the mechanism that's kind of holding it all in place. Let's make the cauldron so I know exactly where to put the rest of it here. Okay, so... Alright, so I'm going to build this up, some temporary blocks here. And then I can build the... Nope, it needs to go back one. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to use some copper for this. So, you know, in reality, the copper wouldn't work, right? Because copper has a lower melting point than steel does. But I think I'm going to let this copper, I'm not going to wax it. I'm going to let it go ahead and oxidize. And when it gets fully oxidized, it won't look so much like copper. It'll look like some sort of a metal cauldron, and that'll be a pretty good look for it. All right, so... All right. Okay, we need a little bottom of the mouth on there. All right, now we'll do a right side up stair here. And an upside down stair here. Same thing on this side. Let's see, can I get that from down here? Yeah. All right, great. We'll go ahead and we'll extend the bottom out here. Now we'll need to, because of you'll see in a minute when I put the lava in there. It's going to need to sit on a full block. All right, now I need to put some blocks up top. All right, so it's 2 deep. Let's see, temporary block here. All right, we're out of stairs, so we'll just use slabs. Yeah, I guess I need that there. Okay, that kind of looks kind of like a big bucket. All right, so now we're going to use these lightning rods. All right, oh, it's dark out. I guess we should sleep before we get mugged. Ah, the lovely sound of iron being made. All right, let's have a look around, make sure there's no creepers, because I don't know how long it was dark before I noticed. Okay, oh, I didn't make those apart far enough. Okay, so I gotta fix that. Okie doke. All right, and now we're going to use grindstones coming from underneath. There you go. Kind of looks like it's attached to that. That's pretty cool. Okay, so kind of looks like this is a big cauldron, and it's got these this steel system coming down here, and these are kind of like your gears that'll allow this thing to pour and to tip back up. All right, so now I just got to go grab a bit of lava. Okay, so we're back with some lava, and I just laid down this little form here, so we're going to go ahead and have a look and see what this looks like. We'll go ahead and dump the lava all the way in the back. Yeah, and it'll pour out here into this form. We'll see how far it goes before we need to add some. Alright, I think that looks pretty cool. And it's going to provide a lot of light in here, so I might have to put a couple, I can take most of these torches out, I might have to put a couple of lights over in that back corner. But when that thing patinas, and it's the fully oxidized copper, I think that's going to look really cool. I kind of like the way lightning rods as like the point of a hinge here, and I like the way it's hanging down. That looks pretty cool. It looks like looks like heavy machinery. And then this is our molten steel being formed here, and that fits right into the theme with our iron farm. But I think this is really cool. There's room for us to maybe put some actual working furnace arrays in here with hoppers and chests and all that. And maybe I can actually have a blacksmith villager in here working, have them set up a station. Who knows, they might wander in here anyway because there's a couple of grindstones. Not sure what I'm going to do about these doors. I'll probably just leave them open unless they cause a problem. And but all in all, I think this worked out pretty good. So we're going to have a nice steady source of iron. This was a pretty easy build. This was kind of a pain just because it's so tall, and I don't have any scaffolding, and so that's the only thing. Now it doesn't have a ton of depth to it, but again, having a look at the picture that I took inspiration from. Alright, well, future me jumping in here, and silly me, I did the whole video and I thought I was done, and I forgot to do the smokestacks. So we are going to do the smokestacks now, and so I'll insert this at an appropriate point in the video, and so let's get to it. Okay, so let's see, the footprint, we need to clear out a 3x3 space for each smokestack. Okay, so we got our first smokestack 3x3 cleared out. I think if we go 7 blocks and then do this again, they'll be pretty evenly spaced. Alright, pretty simple design, and it won't be too hard to make this thing look a little bit round. We stick these in the corners, and even though we got a square, it kind of looks round from a little bit of a distance. Alright, now we just want to make sure we go up high enough to easily clear the top of the building. Okay, so at this point, we will put our hay bale in, and then we'll put a fire. Oh, I left one of the fires back at the in my inventory. We'll deal with that. When you put a hay bale underneath the campfire, the smoke rises farther, so that's why I'm doing that. All right, I'm going to put a temporary block in the middle. Then I'm going to get these stairs, and we're going to cap this off. See, I probably need another temporary block over here. Okay, break that back out so the smoke can come out. Break this guy, and then we have a completed smokestack. So let's, we're gonna erase a whole bunch of buttons now. That's kind of unfortunate. Wonder if I can make that jump. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. This way we didn't lose any buttons. I'd have to replace all the buttons, so that wouldn't be that big of a deal, but now from a distance, this kind of has kind of a little bit of a round look. Okay. 2 campfires in place. Now we got 2 working chimney stacks. Put that button back so that the golem can't spawn out here. Alright, let's go have a look at these. Yeah. I knew the building was missing something, and the smokestacks are it. That is really cool. I really like that a lot. Okay, guys. So this is what this is the complete building, what it looks like. So the last few seconds of the video won't have those in there, but just so you know, those smokestacks are wonderful, and it's a nice touch. It looks really cool. All right, very good. Back to the real time. It's got more depth than that picture does, so I kind of wanted to keep it kind of simple, and there wasn't enough red brick variation to really make it look like a weathered steel mill. So I went ahead and that was a good excuse for me to use deep slate, but you know, a lot of times in the steel mills there's a lot of black soot, so that's kind of my thinking on this, and so I think this turned out pretty good. I like the way this build turned out. Pretty happy with it. Alright guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode. We now have our iron problems solved. Not that it was much of a problem, but we now are going to have an excess of iron, and we have a building here, the steel mill, that we can add some additional really cool elements to over time. But it looks pretty good as it is, and it's a pretty neat project. So I would greatly appreciate you dropping a like on this video. Please subscribe to my page. Helps me out immensely, and it keeps me bringing you videos like this that you might enjoy. So until I see you next time, bye-bye.